you who don't know me, my name is Lisa Ptak. I'm the sister of the bride. And first, I'd just like to say a big thank you to Sarah, Todd, Sally, and Ron and Marie, my parents, for bringing us all here together today. And I would also like to say a special thank you to Sarah's dear friend, Jay Michael, who I know we all wish was here today. But I know he was shining down on us, and he kept that rain away today, and all she was praying to him for, so I just want to say thank you to him for that. So I'm so happy to be here tonight, not because this has been one of the most amazing days ever, though it has been, and not because it gives us all the perfect excuse to visit Charleston and hang out with family and friends, though that's true too, but because now that Sarah and Todd are finally married, we can all lay off Todd for a while. I mean, for someone who admits to procrastinating on every important decision of his life, this is a really big deal. So let's give Todd a round of applause for pulling the tape. But in all seriousness, I am so excited to be part of Sarah and Todd's special day. And I'm proud to be standing here for my sister. Sarah and Todd both have so many close friends, as we can all see from this large group that's here today. And I'm proud to be Sarah's matron of honor. So let me tell you a little bit about my relationship with Sarah. We met back in the 80s when Fraggle Rock and Cabbage Patch Kids were all the rage. Back in 80 and 81, Sarah was a pretty big deal. She got all the attention from my parents and loved every second of it. Then I came along in 1982 and really shook things up. She had to share their affection, all of her toys, and even her room. But the great thing about Sarah and I only being a year and a half apart is we were each other's very first friends and did everything together. Naturally, we had a lot in common, like our love for the New Kids on the Block, dance parties in the basement, and an appreciation for 90s R&B. We spent so much time together that we even sounded alike. In fact, if you don't know me that well, you may have already thought to yourself, oh my gosh, she sounds just like Sarah. Well, this has been going on for all of our lives, and yes, we sound a lot alike, but I'll give you a tip on how to distinguish which one of us is speaking. If the person is talking sounds like a middle-aged truck driver and is swearing, then it's probably Sarah. Being so close, we've always been very protective of each other, and it didn't matter that I was the younger sister. One day, when we were around the ages of 5 and 6, Sarah and I were outside playing with the boys who lived next door. These boys were always causing trouble, but Sarah and I usually met their match. Well, I can't quite remember what they did, but they pushed it too far one day. And the one thing I do remember is they were messing with my sister, and I wasn't going to let them get away with it. They had tackled her to the ground, so I ran inside, and I was looking for the biggest weapon I could find. I was smaller than them, so I needed to find something substantial that could do some serious damage. I pulled out our big yellow plastic baseball bat and was charging through the door, screaming about how I was going to beat up the boys next door. I had just made it out the door swinging when my mom caught me and ripped the bat out of my hand. She may have stopped me from messing the boys up that day, but I like to think that the sight of me running, screaming, and swinging a baseball bat taught them to never touch my sister again. Well, even back then, Sarah, I was looking out for you, and I have continued to do it ever since. When you first told me about Todd, I was a little skeptical. I mean, who wouldn't be of a guy named Todd?
Wait a minute.
Which my grandma sassily noted, Todd, that's an unused name. Todd. My friend Carrie and I were meeting Sarah and a few of her friends, who I think are all pretty much here, at a classy bar on Joe's on Beach Street, where we were going to play in a flippy cup tournament that Todd organized for the Boys and Girls Club. Sarah had been talking about Todd for a while, so I knew she really liked him. I was impressed by the fact Todd worked with a charity and organized such a large event, so I was really anxious to meet him in the flesh. I took one look at him, and instantly, I knew there was something special about him. I mean, he was a 29-year-old wearing a t-shirt with a huge picture of a cat on it. When I asked Todd about his shirt, Todd told me all about his love for cats, and his favorite cat of all time, Alley Cat. He had me laughing from the very second we started talking, and I knew I liked him right away. But the true test was seeing how Todd handled being around not only my sister and me, but also our parents. And I have to say, I've never seen someone so seamlessly fit into a family dynamic, except for my husband Ryan, of course. Everyone just clicked, and to top it off, when Sarah and Todd got serious, Todd's mom, Sally, where's Sally?
Right here.
She's become a staple at our family gatherings, and we love her for that.
Love you, Sally.
Thank you.
Some advice. I'm not going to pretend I know everything about marriage, but I do know from being part of your lives the good you bring out of one another. Todd, you're the perfect addition to our family. My dad now has another guy to talk sports with after years of being stuck with 3 girls. Ryan now has a brother, which is something he's always wanted. And Dylan has the silliest uncle he could ever ask for. Now, I never got to meet your father, Terry, but from all of the stories I've heard about him, I feel like I knew him for years.
Aww.
Sarah truly adored him. So my advice to you is to carry on Terry's legacy of making your wife laugh, even when she's mad at you, and make your future kids laugh, even when they're embarrassed by you. I have no doubt you'll be as great of a husband and dad as Terry was to your family. And Sarah, as for advice now that you're a married woman, just like you've done with this amazing wedding, I know you'll continue to put your heart and soul into everything you do. From your career to raising Stanley into the little man he is today. And
He's not right now.
we're working on it though. Yeah, he's getting there. And of course, your marriage. Just remember that when things don't seem perfect, it's the imperfections that will bring you closer together. And my most important piece of advice, when Todd pulls a Todd and slacks on one of the things he said he'd do, and you're so mad you want to scream,